Hello, fabulous Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of July 2014, Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Where it comes to love, what I find most poignant is the fact that Venus is going to spend much of this month in your sign, about the first 3 weeks or so in your sign. And I think that given that so much of the early part of the month and right around the same time of the month is dedicated to what astrologers call Mercury in shadow. So essentially, as I advised you in the general overview horoscope, you will want to watch the May video again, or I would suggest or invite you to watch the May video again, because some of the themes that came up right around the 24th of May and the later part of May are likely to return for you in the early part of this month. But because this has to do with, on the one hand, matters very close to the heart, and because there is another element to this, on the other hand, it has to do with the fact that with Venus now moving through your sign, love comes into focus. Love becomes more important, if you will. It becomes easier to attract as well. But also there's an element of just believing that you deserve to receive love in all of its forms. That tends to be the heightened lesson at this time. And Venus is ultimately a planet of blessings as well. Not as grand or as big blessings as would be indicated by Jupiter, but certainly known as a planet to bring blessings. And I think about how you've got these sort of Mercury walking or re-walking the steps that he was traveling while he was going backwards. So it's the final time of 3 times, as I've spoken about in the weekly horoscopes when I spoke about Mercury retrograde or retrograde planets. So now we've got Mercury making its final move over your sign, especially in the early part of the month. You add to this with Venus's move, it has to do with something matters very close to your heart. You add to this Venus being in your sign, helping you to see everything more lovingly, differently, and helping you to see in the context of love and partnership. And I do think, as I put these together, that chances are your new understanding, your new awakening, your new beginnings, the path that you are now ready to walk is likely very connected to love and partnership and the future you hope for yourself where it comes to these things. If there's been any sort of connection or type of connection that you've denied yourself, I think now is a time when you really start getting more clear and honest about what it is that you want. And so if you've always told yourself that relationships were not that important, now you start to say, you know what, actually, I think that they are. I actually do want that. Those of you who might have thought kids not that important, now you might start to feel that is something I want. And it could go the other way as well. And I say that it could go the other way as well because while there is a lot of sort of hope and expansion and inspiration happening at the beginning of the month where you're feeling more sentimental as to what you want in love, keep in mind that once we progress to the later part of the month, we are going to have Venus speaking with Pluto and speaking with Uranus as well. But by then, Venus will have moved on from your sign, entered the sign immediately after yours, the sign of Cancer. And so I look at all this, and right now at the beginning of the month, you do want to nurture this feeling because pretty soon you're going to be asking yourself, am I worth it? Well, the beginning of the month tells you, yes, you are worth it. For those of you in an established bond, this is about communicating with your partner about the direction in which you desire to go and seeing if they're on board. And it looks like chances are, yes, there is that connection there. That looks like, yeah, they're participating in this and they want to go along with this as well. There may be some details, some nitty gritty, especially where it comes to any kind of financial breakdowns or understandings. That happens in the last part of the month. However, nurture that connection you feel. Nurture that sense of being able to speak your truth and having it be understood by another. Those of you who have somebody in your sphere, also, I do think there's lots more conversation taking place, which helps you understand who this person is. But the emphasis becomes much more strongly on you, where it's you that starts to say to yourself, does this person is actually part of where I desire to go? And where is it ultimately that I desire to go? And those of you who who don't have anybody right now in your sphere or in a partnership, this represents an important moment for you where you understand what role love is going to play. And it's very likely to be triggered by some attraction. I mean, Venus moving through your sign pretty much makes you very charming, makes you very attractive. And there's pretty much always at least flirtations, people around you telling you how attractive you are, how beautiful you are. You have an ability to draw towards you what it is that you desire and what it is that you want on one level. But more than that, just feeling attractive, feeling like you can have that love is available to you. And in that, learning the lesson that you are worthy of receiving nice things and worthy of receiving attention as well. And so wherever you are in feeling comfortable with attention or not, given Gemini energy is very much mind energy, you want to be seen on a level of mind. And yet sometimes that sort of visceral, sort of immediate, not visceral, Mars is more of a visceral energy. But given that Mars right now is spending its last few weeks in a part of the sky for you that has to do with flirtation, I look at all this together and it does suggest to me some important turning points for you where it comes to understanding what role flirtation, interactions, what role being attractive, pursuing what you want and attracting what you want, how that's going to play out in terms of your romantic present and your romantic future as well. One thing is for sure, though, the universe wants you to know that you are worthy of love. And I think you already know that you certainly are, and you are about to have the experience of knowing this to be true. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great month. Be fabulous and enjoy.